Are there any other questions without notice? No? We now move on to motions without notice, and Councillor Quaremba, you've got a motion in relation to lot 202 Armstrong Road.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the City of Victor Harbor allow key stakeholders to present to elected members what they believe to be a community-driven, financially sustainable alternative for the sports and community precinct on the proposed land at lot 202 Armstrong Road.
Thank you. Do you want to speak to your motion?
Just the only thing I'd like to mention, and this is part of why this motion has come about, in the commentary, last section of the commentary, last paragraph, it says, and this is council commentary by the way, should there be an alternative community-driven proposal, brackets, administration is not aware of such, this could be presented by the individual or group making a deputation to council by request. That statement is actually incorrect. I believe the administration has known about an alternative proposal for quite a while, and some would argue that they've been dissuading the primary key stakeholders from presenting to the council, and that's why this motion has come about. So I think, considering that we're about to undertake probably the biggest project this council's ever seen, and not really knowing the complete burden that we're going to present to our community, I think it's prudent that we investigate every possible option. There's no, I guess, loss in hearing what they have to say and what they have to present, and that way we can at least dot the I's and cross the T's. And I guess I'd like to make an amendment to my motion if I could.
It's your motion?
Sure. I'd like to amend that the presentation be a, let me think about this, a workshop be prior to signing the heads of agreement for the precinct.
We are due to have a special council meeting probably on Monday night, and a workshop in relation to the current negotiations to go out to public consultation.
Sure.
It's going to be very difficult to get anything before that. During public consultation, they will have an ability to put their what they want on, and also anybody can make, as the dog people did today, request through me to do a deputation to talk about what they want. You talk about in your recommendation allow key stakeholders, but I'm not sure. We have a number of stakeholders: the basketball club, the gymnastic club, the ratepayers as key stakeholders.
Yeah.
Which key stakeholders did you want to have a workshop?
The basketball community and potentially gymnastics.
Okay, so you want to change your recommendation to your motion to that?
Well, it's just a broad motion to allow these people to come and speak.
They can come and speak any time.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But like I said, they did ask to have a deputation and they were dissuaded by the administration from doing so. So that's why I put my motion up. So I'd like to see it stand as is.
Yep, that's fine. Do I have a second for the motion? Councillor Burns? Do you want to speak to it, Councillor Burns?
I was just after clarification. I'm just a bit concerned that if administration were aware of this previously, because at the last Audit and Risk Committee, the chair actually specifically asked the CEO, were there any other proposals? And the CEO said no. So I'm a bit confused. Either there has been an awareness of a previous proposal, or there's not. So administration's saying that there has been no discussions, no consultation with the Basketball Association previously.
Kelly, do you want to respond to that, or Graham?
Through the Mayor, so in that discussion in the Audit Committee, because I was present, Graham may have more to add to this afterwards, but essentially there was an open expression of interest for anybody to come forward with their ideas on how it could be delivered. So we've actually asked anybody that has any interest in the project to come forward at a previous stage.
So just for clarification, you're saying that there has been no discussions with the Basketball Association previously to encourage them to present or to say don't present? I just wanting clarification, so because if there has been previously, then that conflicts with what's in this report, but also conflicts with what the audit committee were informed last meeting.
Through the Mayor, prior to Council making the decision to go through an expression of interest process, there were a number of parties that were interested, some community-based, some professionally-based, development-based. All of those parties were invited to participate in the expression of interest process. Once that expression of interest process concluded, Council, through its working group at the time, made some decisions around how to progress the project. At this point in time, or to this point in time, administration have been working to the resolution or the direction that the Council provided out of that expression of interest process. And since that has occurred, I'm not aware of any requests for deputations to Council with regard to the basketball group or any other group, in fact, wanting to make a deputation to Council. I'd be happy to be corrected if someone knows more than I do, but I'm not aware of one.
Thank you. Councillor Quaremba, Councillor Burns, Councillor Schiller, you wanted to speak?
We're talking about two entities who are interested in this because they're going to be tenants or users of this facility, but that's a whole different ball game to someone coming up with a proposal, whether it be an unsolicited proposal or have gone through the process, which we have done in a measured way. And I think it's a bit of a throwing a herring amongst the whole show, because we've done the process. We haven't made the complete decision at this point. We have a good viable option that we're looking at the moment under confidence, and I don't see what the problem is at this point in time to keep proceeding.
Thank you. Does anybody, Councillor Henderson?
I agree with what Councillor Schiller just said. In the 6.5 years I've been on this council, we have, as a council, been consulting with the community, with all of the key stakeholders, with all of the sporting groups in our town and surrounding areas. And we've done due diligence by that all along the way and being completely open. I'm not aware of any other groups who have expressed an interest in any other option at this stage. And really, as has already been said, the way to bring this to our attention, if there is an idea out there, is to bring a deputation to council or to come forward with an unsolicited proposal. This sort of idea does not require a motion.
Is there any further discussion, Councillor Quinton?
I think it's really important we hear out Councillor Quaremba's motion and put it through, because it is important to look at all available options. I have been privy to see the plans that were the community-driven plans, and to my eye they look very good and very will deliver exactly what we need and can potentially be done by the community for much less cost. My understanding was that initially they may not have been eligible because one of the caveats of the tender process was that there must be experience in designing and building stadiums previously, which obviously the community-driven approach does not have. But it is does have a lot of merit, and I do think we should entertain it.
Have you got a question, Councillor Henderson?
If a plan does exist out there, why haven't other councillors seen it? I have seen nothing.
Sorry, the question comes through me, but that's, I think,
Through the Mayor. It was a discussion, it was like an informal discussion with a client.
Thank you. Councillor Burns and then Councillor Kemp.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a clarification. Am I not correct that the intent of the sports precinct was to deliver a facility that could be used by the Basketball Association and hopefully the gymnastics. So these are the primary key people who will be using this facility. So to me, it makes sense to actually hear what they're proposing.
I don't think there's any debate about whether or not they can propose something. I think it's about how they go about proposing something. They're more than welcome to either put in a bid or a deputation.
I suppose the only constraint with a deputation will be, and I understand that is a valid option, is they're restricted to 10 minutes. And I don't know if they can actually present everything in that time itself.
If the council would want to give somebody who's doing a deputation extra time, with the council, you can go out of season and do it. Councillor Kemp.
I have a question for the acting CEO. Do we have a plan B if this expression of interest fails? And then I'll talk to the motion.
Through the Mayor, at the moment, the work that Council's going through at the moment as a result of the expression of interest work is a plan B, or perhaps a plan C even. A number of other plans already existed before this. Has it got a plan beyond that? Whether Council continues with this process, Council would certainly have to regroup and determine what it does next, or revert back to the other options, and that would bring about budget impacts as well that it would need to reconsider.
Thank you for that. I support this proposal because I think that under our unsolicited policy, I think it's at stage one, it's either the CEO or the chamber can receive an unsolicited proposal from a community or developers or whatever. So I see this workshop will be a top workshop for a proposal to be sent to us, look at, and discussions around that. For that reason, to have a plan C or D, which one it is, to ensure that if the expression of interest doesn't get up, then we don't have to wait an extreme period of time to get another proposal available. We'll have one sitting there in the waiting room, if you want to call it. So I support this.
Sorry, Councillor Kemp, just to clarify, the expression of interest process was concluded, so it's the next step beyond that process, which is engagement in terms of what a built form and an operational proposal might look like.
I was just talking holistically.
Is there any further discussion? Councillor Mackenzie.
I just want to add, I think it's important to not forget the current offer that we have on the table that we're discussing at the moment, and compared to the alternative we were looking at within our budget. I think, we should really be considering the current offer that we have. And just a question for staff, will the developer be consulting with these stakeholders in the coming stages?
Through the Mayor, certainly there's still plenty of opportunity for further consultation once Council makes its decision around this next stage of the current procurement process. And in fact, we're open to having some of that now in terms of some of the operational elements, so that's starting to take shape at the moment.
Councillor Schofield.
Look, I was not aware of anything else being put on the table until the weekend when I had a phone call. And I guess now I'm just looking at all this and thinking, gosh, we're in a little bit of a muck. We've got things coming out of our ears left, right and centre, so I think we should go ahead with what we're doing. The public consultation will allow additional information to come in, but we've got meetings scheduled, and I think it's important that we go ahead with those meetings. It's also important that we take note of the two sporting clubs. But as it's been said tonight, there are opportunities for them to come to the table when we go out to public consultation. So nothing's set, but we do have commitments in place, and I think we have to honour those commitments, but we also need to honour those sporting groups and the fact that we listen to them. But the order may not be as some people want it to be.
Graham, I'd like you to make a comment.
Sorry, through the Mayor again, just to clarify, Jodie's just clarified as well, and perhaps it comes back to the councillor question about Plan B or C or whatever it might be. There is $1 million still allocated in the current budget for design, should council not continue with this other proposal.
Councillor Quaremba, would you like to close the debate?
Yeah, I would. I guess a few things. One of my biggest concerns is that we're relying on the people that haven't been able to deliver this project for 10 years to do the same thing again, and I just don't trust that that's going to happen. And now we're bringing in a developer who potentially may not have the community's best interests at heart. This motion has come from the community, it's come from the key stakeholders, and I believe that we haven't exactly acted in the best interests of them. And I'm sure we talk about consultation and they've all been engaged. If they're so engaged, why is it they want to present to the council? If they're so engaged with how we're doing things, why have they asked me to put this motion up? That's what you need to ask yourself. Is it true engagement, or is it just tick a box? And I find it really, I guess, discouraging when I find out that key stakeholders have been asked to sign NDAs when speaking to a developer. That's really concerning. That's something that you would see in, it's currently happening in our governments at the moment. I don't find any level of comfort in knowing that key stakeholders have been asked not to talk to each other about a proposal. And that is really worrying. And I'm just really concerned about the direction we're taking. This is nothing more than allowing them to come forward. We've got more than enough time. The other concern that we have here is that we're about to sign an agreement that once we go down that road, there will be judicial costs to the council if you decide to pull out, if it turns out to be a bad idea. So why not just allow them to come and speak like they've asked to do? Because the last thing we need to do is push them off to the side. The next thing you know, they don't want a bar of what we're proposing, which is what I can see happening. So I'm just asking elected members to put some time aside. We've got a week or however many days, half an hour, they come, present, we talk, we make a decision. I'm not saying stopping and going ahead with what we're doing, but I think it's important that we look at every possible avenue before we commit ratepayer money. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll now put that to the vote. All those in favour? And those against? There is a division. No, I've got to do a deciding vote. So I've got to do a deciding vote. That's 4 for and 4 against. Oh, sorry, I said the wrong word. This is a really difficult one because I am aware of the process that council has gone down to get to this point, and it's been a long process. I'm also aware that the sporting clubs, in particular the basketball club and the gymnastics club, have been waiting a long time for this, and I know that your patience is wearing very thin, and I know that you really want this. I'm also aware that Councillor Quaremba is really doing what he thinks is the right thing, and allowing the basketball club to have their say. And so weighing all of that up, I'm going to vote against this. The reason that I'm voting against it is because the basketball club can do a deputation. The basketball club can ask council for a longer period of time for the deputation. We are hopefully, I think on Monday, going to be making a decision about going out to community consultation around the current plan, which council elected members and staff have been working on for, I reckon over a year from when we first looked at what land we were going to use, to looking at different models that will make a community sports and recreation community space one that the whole community can participate in and enjoy, and will be one that will be there for a long time to come, rather than, I think we called it at the beginning, a tin shed option, which would be the cheapest option but would probably not last the distance. What we have been discussing, which because it is commercially very sensitive at the moment, is, in my view, fantastic for the Victor Harbour, for the region, for the community, and we've got to get it right. We've still got a workshop and meeting to have, and I know that even today and on Friday, staff were in discussions and negotiations around some of the things that as a elected body you had said we need. We need to make it affordable. No, we need to make it attainable, and we're so close. What I worry about now, if we have an option B coming in, then we're just going to be back to where we were 6 years ago, with different options coming in and people sitting on the fence. So I'm voting against this, and I'm hoping that next week the community will have a way forward, and will have a way that they can look at if everything goes according to plan, and if the council is happy with things. I think we're looking at, when did they say, I think I was talking to Victoria before she went on holidays, the first sod being turned next year or so. Yeah. So, you know, things are happening, and I know that it's been frustrating and slow, but I think that we're getting there. I'm confident that all of the debate and discussion that we've been having to make sure that it is financially viable for clubs, for Victor Harbour, for ratepayers, and we'll be going out to community consultation again. So I'm voting against this. And you probably want to have a division, so I'm happy for a division. For those for the motion, please stand. And you know that you're able to change your mind during a division and vote either for or against, depending on what you did before. For the motion, Councillor Burns, Councillor Quaremba, Councillor Kemp. You for the motion, and Councillor Quinton. Against the motion is Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Schiller, Councillor Schofield, and Councillor Henderson, and the Mayor making a deciding vote. Thank you.